So there's this movie called White Man Can't Jump, and if you haven't watched that movie, I would highly recommend that you give it a shot. It's a pretty old movie. I think it's in the '90s or something like that. And they got good actors like Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, and then the beautiful Rosie Perez. And I remember a part in the movie where Woody Harrelson and Rosie Perez are sleeping, and Rosie Perez wakes up and she says, "I'm thirsty." So obviously, the logical thinking person would say, "All right, he gets up, gets her a glass of water, and brings it to her." And she says, "Just because I'm thirsty doesn't mean I need you to bring me a glass of water." And then I think he proceeds to throw the glass of water in her face and gets up and leave. And it's so funny because at the time I'm like, all right, I don't really understand what happened. Like, he obviously, you're thirsty, so he brought water, right? And that's just this logical way of thinking. But as you get older, you start reading books, you start to understand more, is that and you start to see the difference between the man and the woman, right? The man is built to, they want to solve problems, right? You thirsty, so the solution is, bring some water, bring some type of liquid so you can, quench your thirst. But for a woman is that they don't want you to solve their problem, right? They want to emote. They want to know that they're being heard. And that just shows you the difference between man and woman. And this is why I'm bringing up this video, because, as men, we have no choice but to figure things out, because this is how we're built, right? We're built to solve problems, okay? And right now we're living in a time where there's a lot of men avoiding what's difficult, okay? And they'll, as human beings, we like to go the path of least resistance. We like that instant gratification. We want everything now, and we'll find any way to get it right away, instead of really developing and building or investing and making sure that in the long run we can reap the rewards. And we like to take shortcuts, right? And this is obviously, for men, this is a problem, because we are built to solve problems. And if we're finding we're trying to find shortcuts to problems, but then we're not really taking the time to develop and building skills in order to do that. And this is why, and you can tell, because this is why a lot of guys especially like playing video games. All right, we like playing video games because it gives us the illusion that we're solving problems. Okay, and it, depending on whatever type of video game that you're playing, right? Whether you have a character that you're developing, and all it takes is to conquer some enemy, and you're building up those attributes. You're seeing your character grow, right? And the thing is, the greater thing about that is, it gives us that instant gratification, because we can reap the rewards of building up that character right away. Okay, all you do is conquer an enemy, and then each time you conquer an enemy, you're attaining more attributes and developing your character. As opposed to in real life, if you wanted to build something, it takes a lot of time. If you want to develop a skill, start a business, it takes a lot of time to really reap those rewards. And for a lot of men, we don't really want to go that path. Our mindset is to, but like I said, go the path of least resistance, find the shortcuts to attain the things we want. And this is why video games are so appealing to a lot of men. It gives us that illusion, like I said, we're solving problems. And even for myself, while I'm working my business, right? I'm at home working from home, and I encounter issues, right? There's a task, a difficult task, and one thing I remember, that I catch myself doing sometimes is when a difficult task is in front of me, one thing I'll tend to do, and I'll catch myself, is I'll go to my phone, or I'll go on social media and scroll. Because for me, it's the easy thing to do. Every time I encounter a difficult task, it's just the automatic thing is just all right, let me go do something else that's pretty easy, which is easier to scroll through social media. And I got to catch myself sometimes, because that's obviously just wasting time. So it's human nature to want to do that, and it's something that we as men have to really try to figure out how to avoid, or how to develop the discipline to catch ourselves and make sure that we're not out here wasting time, and making sure that we're getting things done, right? So if you're someone all right, you're someone that's stuck, right? Trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. You're trying to figure things out, and trying to get things started where you can accomplish things with your life. The first thing you want to do is obviously just focus on the things that you can control, right? Because there's so many different things that we can't control, and we get caught up in that. We want to focus on the things that we can control, because that's the first step to really trying to improve our lives and improve anything that we're trying to do, right? And then the next thing you want to do is ask yourself figure out what do you want out of life. And let's say you don't know what you want. Then what you want to do is figure out what you don't want out of life. Figure out the things that you dislike about your life. Let's say if you're someone that's not making enough money at your job. Well, the solution is develop some skills so then you can make more money at your job, or maybe you don't like your job, right? You're tired of your job. You're tired of just working for somebody. The solution is to start a business, right? Work for yourself, develop some business where and some skills where you can build up. You can eventually use that business to then retire you from that 9 to 5. Or maybe you don't like your body, right? You look in the mirror and you don't like the way your body looks. The solution is go to the gym, okay? And these are things that you can do, right? These are things that you can control, right? Because like I said, if you're someone that's trying to figure out what you want to do with your life and you have no idea, figure out what you don't like about your life and then find solutions and then go in that direction. Right, that's what I would do. Is like if I don't like certain things, then I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't like these certain things. I list these things down and say, all right, I don't like these things. So what can I do in order to improve them? Whether it's developing skills to make more money at your job, or developing skills where you can start a business so that they can retire you from the job. Right, and these are the things that you got to do. And in order to make sure that you're successful at these things, you can't be afraid to fail. Okay. I think for a lot of people, they're afraid to fail. They're afraid of failure. And when I look at failure, I look at it as a learning experience. Right? Each failure that you encounter is a learning experience. And you only fail really if you quit. Right? Like entrepreneurship is something that I've been pursuing for a while now. And I've encountered many failures, but I've never, if I quit and say, you know what, this is not going to work, then that's a failure for me. Because I've given up on my dream of developing a business and hopefully someday gaining financial freedom. But if you're someone that started a business, failed at one business, and you tried another business, like these are all learning experiences, because you can fail at that one business and say, okay, all right, what didn't work at that business? Take the things that learn from the things that didn't work, and then you apply it to the next venture, and then you try that business, and if it works out, good. If it doesn't, then you say, okay, well, how did this business fail? And then you just keep building on, you keep pivoting, and you build on every learning experience and every failure. And failure is nothing wrong with failure. Failure is a good thing, because eventually it takes enough failures in order to succeed in life. Okay, and that's the most important thing that you got to really understand, is you can't be afraid to fail, because you're going to fail. Every successful person that you know has failed at something, right? They've never just right out the gate been successful at the things that they've tried. Regardless, right? There's one outlier, but most people that are successful, they'll tell you about all the failures that they've encountered in their life. And if you're someone that's trying to figure it out, this is what we're supposed to do, because no one's going to do this for you, right? No one's going to figure it out. No one cares that you don't like your job. No one cares that you hate working, you're not making enough money at your job. No one cares that you don't like the way your body looks. No one cares. Like, everyone is, as a man, you are expected to figure it out. Whatever issue that you're dealing with, no one is going to be there holding your hand, trying to make sure you figure it out for you. You're going to have to take on the onus. You have to take on that responsibility to figuring out yourself, because this is your responsibility, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because this is what happiness is about, right? Having problems and finding solution to those problems, right? We find happiness and being able to solve our problems. Right, and if you're not happy, that's probably because you have a problem you haven't yet solved, right? So if you find yourself just stuck, figure out the things that you don't like and find a way to find solutions to those problems, and you'll hopefully that will guide you in the direction that you want to go in terms of finding your purpose. Okay, and these are the things that I've figured out myself. Like you've tried so many different things. You read a bunch of books, or you try a bunch of businesses, and it's not a straightforward path to success, right? There's so many different deviations and roads and roadblocks that you encounter through this path, and all you gotta do is just say, all right, here's a problem, figure it out, and then keep going. All right, and like I said, the purpose is figuring it out, because like I said, no one's gonna do it for you. So hopefully you found some value in this message. If you got any comments or questions, make sure you leave it down below. Hit the like button, share, and if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. All right, so guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.